This is the Ohio AgNet from the Voice You Know with the News You Trust studios, sponsored by BASF. Visit with your local ag retailer about 0% financing on all BASF crop protection, seed treatment, and Zetavo brand soybeans now through March 15th. I'm Ty Higgins. The 2026 Ohio Farm Bureau Young Ag Professionals Winter Leadership Experience is coming up this Friday and Saturday. Powered by Soy Biodiesel, join the Ohio AgNet for live updates on Friday, brought to you by Ohio Farm Bureau, and get full details at experienceyap.com. Time for this week's South American Update, brought to you by Seed Genetics Direct, the #1 fastest growing and largest Ohio-based independent seed company. Here's Joel Penorwood.
Our South American correspondent Geraldo Hosoldi tells us Brazil's corn market starting the year on firm footing, even with another massive crop on the books. New January numbers from Brazil's CONAB peg total corn production at nearly 139 million metric tons. That's essentially unchanged from December and still the second largest crop on record. Most of the focus now turns to the second corn crop in Brazil. Safrinha is what it's called. Accounts for about 80% of total output and is still early in the planting window. On the supply side, exports were revised higher, trimming projected ending stocks to 12 million tons. That's still the largest carryout since the 2020 to 2021 season, but the biggest story is demand. Rapid growth in corn-based ethanol and strong global demand for Brazilian animal protein have pushed total corn demand to about 141 million tons. That exceeds production estimates and drops the stocks-to-use ratio to about 13%. That tightening balance is already showing up in prices. Brazilian corn prices rose about 8% over the past year as the market shifts its focus away from exports and toward that domestic use we're talking about. CONAB's export forecast of near 46 million tons could prove optimistic, some analysts expecting it to be closer to 40 million. Weather so far remains broadly favorable, but with Safrinha carrying the highest climate risk, Brazil's corn markets look increasingly sensitive to any disruption, which is not uncommon. More online at ohioagnet.com. I'm Joel Penorwood reporting.
Thank you, Joel. Let's check the forecast now. Brought to you by Seed Consultants, simply better performance. Online at seedconsultants.com. Here's Ryan Martin.
Overall today, we've got a clipper system passing by to the north, especially north of Lake Erie, but I do think that drags clouds and a chance of snow into northern tier counties, all the way down to US 30. The rest of the state features on again, off again cloud cover for your Wednesday. Temperatures cool, but not brutally cold. Arctic air on the move tomorrow. Tomorrow's a transition day. We'll probably still see clouds and a little bit of light flurry action up north, and the clouds increasing over the rest of the state. Brutal cold in for tomorrow night through Friday and Saturday. You think it was cold to start with this week? Well, let's turbocharge that for Friday and Saturday, putting winds in there as well. Dangerous wind chills, just flat out nasty. But we are dry through Saturday. Then we have the potential for a major winter storm coming up from the southwest. Could put snow into at least half of Ohio. I'm Ryan Martin.
Ryan, thank you. For over 100 years, farmers have helped America meet our energy needs, and they've been the leading voices for energy independence and domestic resilience. And now, according to the Ohio Director of Farm to Power, Sam Roberts, they can be part of preserving landowner rights and growing opportunities in America's rural communities. I caught up with them earlier this month at the American Farm Bureau Convention in Anaheim, California.
Farmers have always been at the front lines of these energy development conversations. They're always the ones with land and the resources that energy developers need access to help generate power for the rest of us. They play that crucial role in helping make sure the lights stay on for the rest of society. So we really need to kind of respect and understand the responsibility attached to that, but more so respect those sentiments and help encourage them to feel comfortable kind of navigating those spaces. We want them to feel comfortable getting themselves a seat at the table, interacting in those discussions with their communities, energy developers, and what have you, just to make sure that not only are their voices are heard, but they feel comfortable making the right decisions for their communities and their land.
There's an educational piece to this too, not just to farmers and landowners, but you talk to a lot of lawmakers and those within the rural community,
yes,
where they've heard a lot of misconceptions, and you're not trying to sway them one way or the next, but there's actual factual information out there that can be very helpful.
Yes, we really hope to be an educational resource to a variety of different rural stakeholders and organizations, a thought leader, if you will. We can and want to be for any organizations listening.
You can find out more at farmtopower.org. How's the equipment market shaping up these days? We get an update now from Joe Everett.
As we continue to make our way through the month of January, what should farmers be thinking about in terms of equipment early in 2026? Andy Campbell, Director of Insights for TractorZoom, talks about the current trends in row crop tractors.
last year was really defined by murkiness, a lot of buyer hesitancy out there. It slowed down sales off of dealers' lots. And now we're at least in a point where it might not look great in terms of a horizon. It's clear. And that clarity is bringing a little bit more consistency into what we're seeing with the economy of this piece of equipment. With row crop tractors specifically, I do think they're a bit of a sleeper right now. It's really because I think they're expensive and they're sitting on dealers' lots. There's incentive for them to move it. But unlike in 24, there were way too many of them. Dealers were incentivized to move them through auction, and they did. And they took some pretty big hits. Now the sentiment, let's hold on to these things. Let's have meaningful conversations with farmers, and let's make those sales and push those out through the retail channel.
Campbell says that while the retail sales are still weaker, auction values are holding strong. He also mentions that even though we're going through a tough time in the overall farm economy, the values are down on equipment, but one piece of equipment that is holding its value are sprayers, and he believes that has to do with immediate return on investment. For the Ohio AgNet, I'm Joe Everett reporting.
Thank you, Joe. The Ohio AgNet continues after this.
Attention construction pros. Purple Wave Auction brings quality equipment to your fingertips. Join our bi-weekly online auctions featuring dozers, excavators, loaders, and more. We provide detailed listings, photos, and seller contact info. Inspect online or in person. With our no reserve policy, every item sells to the highest bidder. Visit purplewave.com today and see why informed builders choose Purple Wave. Transparent processes, real deals, your next great purchase awaits. purplewave.com.
It's time for the Morton Buildings Building Value Days sales event running now through the end of February. Morton Buildings are built stronger, last longer, and look better. So if you're planning for a garage, farm shop, stall barn, a storage building for your RV, boat, or collectibles, or anything in between, act now. Our buildings are built to last, but these savings won't. Visit MortonBuildings.com or contact your local Morton office to take advantage of current savings on new buildings. Certain restrictions may apply. Offer valid only on select new building orders placed between January 5th and February 28th, 2026.
Welcome back to the Ohio AgNet. I'm Ty Higgins. Winter meeting season continues. There are a couple of upcoming meetings that may be a little bit more appetizing to you, so to speak. Brianna Smith has more in today's featured audio.
If you're looking for a way to stay ahead of what's changing in agriculture while enjoying a good breakfast, the Farmer Breakfast Series has become a go-to for many producers across Central Ohio. This long-running collaboration between Extension and local Farm Bureau continues in 2026 with a lineup of timely topics. Joining me is Amanda Doritas with OSU Extension to share more about the event.
Yeah, the Farmer Breakfast Series is a long-time collaboration between Extension and Farm Bureau in Central Ohio. And the goal is to bring awareness and education on issues that farmers are facing today. So we typically have a handful of meetings. This year we're running 3 at the Der Dutchman in Plain City, and topics vary from year to year.
What are some of the topics that you have planned out for this year's series?
This year, we're kicking off with artificial intelligence in agriculture. That's on January 30th. So AI is moving fast. It's definitely impacting agriculture, and we want to bring farmers up to speed on how it's being used, how they might use it, so they can improve sustainability on their farms.
And then as we look ahead, you've got some programming in February and in March as well. Do you want to touch on either of those?
Yeah, so February 27th will be our Agriculture Outlook meeting. We typically hold one at the Der Dutchman, so we're incorporating that into the breakfast series this year. And we'll have Barry Ward on talking about farm margins. Dr. Ian Sheldon will be out again this year with trade policy, which is a huge topic area over the last couple years. And then we're bringing in Dr. Matt Roberts, who used to work for the Ag Econ department, but has gone to private industry, and he'll be giving our grain outlook. So we're really excited to have those gentlemen join us and really provide a good outlook on the agriculture economy moving forward. And then March 27th will be our Workman's Comp session. So this will be a 2-hour session that fulfills the Farm Bureau workers' compensation requirement. We're still working on speakers for that, but if folks need to get that education, then they should save that date.
Excellent. And how much does it cost to attend these events?
Yeah, that's a little bit different than in years past. We are doing a $10 registration fee per session, and that is reimbursable to those who are current Farm Bureau members or if you want to join when you attend the breakfast, I'm sure they'll reimburse you for that too. So the breakfast is sponsored again by Delaware, Franklin, Madison, and Union County Farm Bureaus, but we do want to have that commitment so we're not overpaying for the breakfast fee, of course. So $10, but reimbursable to Farm Bureau members.
And if people wanted to register to attend the meeting, where should they go?
They can register online through Farm Bureau. It's go.osu.edu/26breakfast series is the short link to get you there. It's usually a popular series. Sometimes we do sell out capacity. So Der Dutchman breakfast is good and really popular. We have a great lineup of speakers as well. So if someone does want to attend, I would encourage them to register as soon as they can.
Thanks, Amanda, for taking the time to join us and talk about the Farmer Breakfast Series, which gets underway starting on January 30th. You can read more about the series, including links to register, at ohioagnet.com. Reporting for Ohio's Country Journal and Ohio AgNet, I'm Brianna Smith.
Thank you, Brianna. Back with a check of the markets after this as the Ohio AgNet continues.
Hey pork producers! The 2026 Ohio Pork Congress is almost here. It all happens in Lima, Ohio on February 3rd and 4th at the Veterans Memorial Convention Center. You'll get the latest on swine health, facility management, economics, product innovation, and more. And don't forget about the expanded Spanish language breakout sessions. All this with over 60 trade show exhibitors to visit. So go to ohioporkcongress.org today to get more information and early registration discounts. We'll see you in Lima.
Get ready to bid on the heavy equipment and vehicles you need in a Ritchie Brothers Midwest Regional event happening February 10th through 12th. Inventory is at Ritchie Brothers locations in Columbus, Chicago, Detroit, Minneapolis, Kansas City, and Lincoln, with in-person inspections available. Bid on a wide selection of excavators, loaders, dump trucks, and truck tractors. Don't miss this great opportunity. Visit rbauction.com/Columbus to sign up. rbauction.com/Columbus.
Welcome back to the Ohio AgNet. I'm Ty Higgins. If agriculture is your way of life, you need news you can count on. That's why Ohio farmers turn to Ohio's Country Journal, your source for the latest in crop updates, livestock insights, market trends, and the stories that celebrate country life across our state. Every issue keeps you informed, connected, and ready for what's next in Ohio agriculture. So don't miss a beat. Renew your subscription or sign up today at ocj.com/renew and grow with the publication built for Ohio farm families. That's ocj.com/renew. Time for today's market analysis, brought to you by the Louis Dreyfus Company. Excited to be building the newest state-of-the-art soybean crush facility in Upper Sandusky. Call 574-566-2113 for information on soybean marketing to LDC. Here's Ryan Martin.
Grain markets finished the Tuesday session just a little bit lower. Now, it wasn't without a little trying. And during the midday hours, the grain markets, well, at least corn and soybeans, tried to bounce a little bit due to weakness in the U.S. dollar. Why was the dollar weaker, you ask? Well, let's point to that big old Arctic island called Greenland and everything that happened over the weekend and what may happen here today. The president speaking at the Davos conference over in France or Switzerland or wherever the heck it is. But they're going to be talking about, I'm sure, all sorts of things. The stock markets fell off yesterday because of concerns about the whole geopolitical risk. What we did know on the grain side yesterday is that China has fulfilled its 12 million metric ton purchase pledge with the U.S. as Brazil prepares to harvest their record largest soybean crop. World is arguing that that's well over 180 million metric tons. That's going to be a burdensome supply when it comes back to our big U.S. crops here. I'm Ryan Martin.
Markets on the Ohio AgNet brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance. Online at seedconsultants.com. In the overnight trade, March corn a quarter penny higher, $4.24 a bushel. May $4.36 1/4, up by a half cent. March soybeans 3 cents to the good at $10.56. May $10.66 and 2 cents higher overnight. Wheat for July no change at $5.34. February live cattle 22 cents to the good, closing out yesterday at $232.37. April $234.57 and 60 cents to the good. June live cattle $1 higher at $230.60. Feeder cattle for March up 122 yesterday, 357.67 at the close. April 356.45 up $1.55, and feeder cattle for May up 162 at 353.90. Lean hogs for February given up 42 cents, closing Tuesday at 87.85. April 95.17 down 2, and May lean hogs up 27 at $99 even. This is the Ohio AgNet.